Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with Darth Mod. Last time around, I don't actually recall exactly what happened, but I think I specified that we have two possible battles against Sweden, one of which over here at St. Petersburg, and that is the one we're gonna do today. We also, just to recap a little bit, we also have this one over here attacking towards Denmark or Copenhagen with this army right here, which is comprised of grenadiers, a regiment of horse and fusiliers with a very high accuracy. So we hope that that's going to work against a greater number of Swedish troops in that region. Maybe if I look around here I'll remember what battle we did last time. I think we did a little bit of with smaller battles, and then there was the Navy thing, which kind of screwed me over because I was like, haha, and I sunk that ship. And I raided all the ports down here, but then the Ottoman came back with quite a large fleet, that one over here. And they sunk that one boat I had. And so now we're back to square one with the Barbary state once again. Laying siege or blockade to my port and making me unable to actually recruit the ship or build it. This time around I have a little bit of a bigger boat. It's basically the same kind, but it's a little bit bigger. Quite a lot bigger because the other one was very small. Oh yes, maybe it was the Kurlanders? No, I don't think I showed that battle actually. We still have these bastards running around. Where did I put my national lancers? I was supposed to chase them down. Oh, they're here. Right, was it the national lancer that was last one? Yes, it was. Now I remember. And with that, we'll strike down the Swedish at St. Petersburg. It's Adam Levenauth, or I don't know exactly how you pronounce that, even though it's a Swedish general, but I'm pretty sure that kind of a German name. They have quite a lot of troops, some cannons, marines, so forth, even some Hakkapeliitta. Oh, look at that, 6-pounder. That looks different compared to the other cannons. We have a mighty array of cannons though. I think they have an advantage in cavalry, possibly. And they also have a little bit of a numbers advantage, but not so quite. I think we have the chance though. I mean, the general has more stars, one more, so that should be enough. Anyways, let's see if we can't take on the Swedes like we've taken on everyone else. Here's my lineup of the troops. We've got all the cannons strung out along here, which are quite a few. It's, I believe, 7 units, which are 4 cannon each, which means we've got quite the firepower to lay down on the Swedish. And then we have all the grenadiers stationed in front. One of the things that's, I mean, it's really cool in Darth Mod that you can have 40 unit armies and like these big units, but when you've played, like, the units look so much better in Imperial Destroyer that, I mean, this is kind of, you know, how crap they look in just using vanilla. They look quite awful, a lot of them, which is sad, but it's really cool that you can have so many of them. Right, I have split up the infantry into brigades of 4 units each, 4 regiments per each. We got one there, and then one in the back as a reserve. And over here we've got the Guard Lancers, and behind them we've got the Hussars, which looks like these fellows right here. And yeah, the idea is to, I think, just bombard the Swedish a bit first, and then see where we need to
advance to take them on. So they've gone for... okay, so they've drawn out quite a few troops up in front, but then they have gone ahead and done like a column in the back. Our artillery will of course counter-fire on the enemy artillery to start off with. And we'll see how well that goes. Interestingly how these guys are more accurate, because the Swedish artillerymen would have used the grey uniform. And then these are the blue and yellow. Got some Swedish troops marching up here. And I did see some pikes as well moving around. And then we've got the Marines, which basically look just like vanilla. So looking at what the enemy is doing, I think we'll advance our infantry brigades to start off with. Control the crossroad and take control of the forest. Might actually pull them back to station them along the wall there. Then we'll have this one march like so, holding this ground here. They're firing on my cavalry, are they? And then we'll have the reserve ready to back up the center. And then I think we'll have the grenadiers start advancing as well within that ground right there. Trying to keep the cavalry in reserve and wait until a certain point where we can actually call upon them to kind of try and sweep in on the Swedish troops advancing here. So they have a slight advantage of about, I think it's 5 or so points, or maybe it was 10. It might have been more actually. It might have been 10 points extra accuracy. We'll tell the frontline troops to run into their positions now. Trying to get there ahead of the enemy. Looks like the Marines are ready to fire. Interestingly enough, only the first rank fires, while our entire unit fires. Is it that they fire by rank, or is it just that the Marines just fire first rank? Strange. It seems to be going well. The Swedes are concentrating their troops. Could go for a melee charge. And they seem to be charging in the forest together with cavalry, intent on possibly breaking through here. The grenadiers are coming into play. I want actually the grenadiers to pull back just slightly. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have these two grenadiers stationed behind in the forest, and then the rest of these will kind of pull back further, more towards the road, and hold there against the massive income of troops coming in there. You will hold fire so you don't shoot friendlies in the back. And then I actually want the cannons to focus in on the troops coming in here. So there's a massive melee going on in the center with cavalry and infantry as the Swedes are marching straight on us. Massive death here. So I think the forest is probably gonna fall. I'm pretty sure I might be able to hold this area here, or maybe not at all actually. The Swedes have kind of thoroughly cut their way through there. Luckily I set up the reserves, so we'll have the reserves advance ready to take the place of or open up the sort of second rank. You're not supposed to wheel. If anything, you will fall back. Alright. The Swedes are continuing forward. but they're losing quite a bit of troops as they advance. You know what? There's so many Swedes in the forest there. I'm gonna order us to open fire on it and start breaking it down. And these should turn up on the flank. So the Marines, I think my Grenadiers should be able to deal with the Marines. No problem there. Okay, so the regiments within the forest are now breaking down. And the Swedes are coming out in numbers. Same time the Swedes are kind of breaking these guys down as well. I'll actually order the remaining ones to pull back. Mostly just so I can tell these guys to open up. At this point, it's probably when we need to send in the cavalry. The Swedes have been softened up due to their advance and heavy melee fighting. So I think we can now sweep down upon them from the back. Let's see. Have ordered the cannons to fire in among all this mess. Look at how many troops there are. The Swedes are losing thousands of men though. They did manage to break through the first line. Damn, they're kind of breaking through second line as well. Hussars. I'll order them to take position here. And then the Lancers. So far the line, our line is holding. Fall back towards the cannons. Okay, they're kind of breaking down over here, but we're holding pretty well all over. So the thing here is that the Swedes have been melee fighting and they have been running about all over the place. So they are tired once they actually reach our lines. What are you doing all the way up here? Fall back. And for the fact that I can feel that the game is running a lot better. So I'm guessing a lot of the Swedish troops have died at this point. We'll have some Lancers charge in and get our cavalry stuck in the fight. I will order this one to do a general advance. And I want this one to just fall back slightly so it can open up on these guys. But I think these provincial militia are going to be smashed by the Lancers charging in the back. And there we go, they're forced back. And I've sent in my Hussars to deal with the Swedes here, striking them in the back as the front line held. And now the Swedes find themselves surrounded over there. The Grenadiers are doing fine work here. They've held the ground. It's a bit of touch and go here because they've lost. Our men have lost a lot over there. Let's see. Artillery. Fire back on the enemy artillery. We've got Swedish troops retreating now all over the place. I'm gonna tell my infantry to do a general advance towards the enemy. And I think most other regiments will hold their position as the Swedes are now retreating all along the line. There's a holdout over here, and there seems to be a holdout and a bit of a cavalry fight over here. Oh, it's the Hakkapelita, which are fighting against the Lancers and the Hussars, together with some Swedish dragoons and regular cavalry unit. There's quite a lot of Swedish cavalry here. Could be nice to actually use some aid by infantry. We're blasting the Swedish remaining cannon position. Where's my cannons? Fire on this one. And as we're closing in here, I'll set this regiment to fire into the back of the Swedish cavalry. And then the rest of the infantry regiments would kind of fall on the back of the Swedish troops. We have one unit, one regiment, still holding here, protecting the retreat of the Swedish troops. We'll advance and gain some ground here, see if we can't dislodge him. And maybe get some grenadiers going in here, using the grenades. Shooting into the rear of the Swedish troops should definitely turn it into our favor. Is that? Oh, that cannon was firing at the infantry. Fighting on. Let's see. I'll send this guy forward. They're still holding out here, which I'm quite surprised. But I guess our men are tired at this point as well. Right, so they finally got rid of that guy. See if we can get rid of these. And we got rid of that unit. So all of these will do a general advance towards that way, together with this one. And let's use grenades to dislodge this marine unit, which is a bit too late. We blew up more of our own men there. But I think that was enough to send the Swedish troops away. And now you will go for that cannon, because that one has been shooting you into from the flank and kind of crushing you guys. Bloody hell, the enemy cavalry still holds on. But then again, lancers aren't that well in a aren't gonna do that well in a prolonged fight. Better tell our cannons to hold the fire, not to shoot down our own men, as we assault the enemy's cannon position. There we go, those Swedes were sent away as well. And now the cavalry is gone. Which should mean that, yes, we are victorious. But at what cost? The thing though is, this is the only major region they have here. They have Finland, but that's not a major town region. So it's definitely a big loss for Sweden to lose all of this. A single artillery man is running away. Right, there we have it. Back on to the campaign map, shall we? And here we have the results. So we lost half our force. But the enemy lost all of it. I don't think a single unit was killed. No, it seems fine. It's going to be expensive. It's going to cost me 10,000 to get that back. It's probably going to piss off the Russians a bit. They have 2 full stacks coming in. And they were hoping to take this province. But now I took it. I wonder what our relationship with Russia is right now. It's not actually that great. And our relationship is indifferent with Austria. It's mostly because I've dishonored treaties. Which is my treaty with... I mean, look there, with Austria I get 200 plus points for military alliance, but I get 179 minus for dishonoring treaties. So me backstabbing my own vassal Kurland has caused ripples through the kind of the European court life, and has caused most European powers, except for France, to kinda dislike me, or at least be indifferent. Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and end turn. What I'm gonna try and do is, as I said, someone said something about an Ottoman blob of thousands of soldiers somewhere in the Middle East somewhere. So I'm gonna try and find those guys, just to know where they are, and see if, you know, possibly we could fight them at some point. If they're not too big, because then the battle will probably crash. But yeah, let's go ahead and turn and see if anyone sort of breaks their treaties with us. I could see the Austrians and the Russians breaking treaties, especially Russia, since we took St. Petersburg. Improved grape shot on the high seas, very good, and we were kind of saved on the high seas as well. I made a blunder down here, but it actually worked out, because we had the Genoese fleet turn up, and this spectacular commander, look at all the stars on that boy, Luigi Assemani, Italian command, just came and saved us there and sunk that ship that was holding this port at... oh, it might be because this is the way we actually traded with Genoa, or the Genoese. So it might very well have been that he had moved there to... look at that. To deal with them in that fashion. Looks like France is possibly embroiled with a fight with the Genoese. Can I even find them there? There we go. And they are allied with Spain and the Mughal Empire, and they are at war with France and the Barbary State. But who isn't at war with the Barbary State? And who shouldn't be at war with the Barbary State? Bavaria was destroyed. Who then but France, I imagine, to take that? Cannons in Lithuania. We've got ships in the Black Sea and the Baltic Sea. And let's see, Bavaria, no, Austria has taken up the fight. So now the French and the Austrians will clash over Bavaria and Württemberg, back and forth over there. Construction report, we have a shipyard in Western Prussia and a magistrate in Sofia, Bulgaria, which I will build up, and we can try to build a mighty naval force to be enough to keep the Swedish at bay. Next battle up is this one over here, which, given the fact that we saw how the Swedish attacked, I think we'll set up the troops differently once we actually go against the Swedish here. I will go and actually set up in the college. I don't think we can pass over just because the Swedish fleet is... we need to launch our fleet to actually be able to pass over. The Swedish fleet is not strong enough to contest us, so now we should be able to actually cross, I believe. But I don't think maybe we have enough movement range. But now the Swedish shouldn't be able to contest us crossing. What I could do is I could split the force and even lock the Swedish fleets in, and that was enough. So now we can cross over, but we're not, because I want to go directly there to attack them. The plan is, however, we could hold back and possibly set up a defense here. And the plan would be to integrate the cannons with the line and have the grenadiers control strong points and stuff to hold them off. Yes, I am repairing these, and we kind of want to send out the National Lancers just to deal with these guys, which have been running about for, I mean, a couple of years at this point, burning stuff all over the place. And also, with the great drain on my army, I think we're gonna go ahead and enable tax. Or, well, not here, this is a recently conquered one, and I believe this one as well. So we can't really tax those ones. But we need to tax like this one, even though Naval was 4 turns away. And we need to start taxing this. Oh, it's only 1 turn away for Lublin. We're gonna tax this place, and we're gonna tax 2 turns. Yeah, but the thing is, we get 4,000 for this. I kind of need that. But so now we've increased it by 10,000, and I'm gonna need 10,000 alone to repair this army. However, I'm gonna actually focus on, first and foremost, actually repairing this area. And also, we're gonna see about building up these places to increase the growth of the towns there without me actually having to exempt them from tax. And then I want my spy to go ahead and see if we can figure out where the Ottoman armies are. You know what? I think I remember this actually, that it was like a big cluster. Because you kind of come looking over it, wherever it is, and the entire game starts lagging just because it's so much. I mean, they have nothing. There's nothing stopping me from going directly anywhere. Maybe not send both spies, because I kind of want to know what's going on here. Because this is where, what's he was called? Hugo Dolka is supposed to march and lay siege, where they actually got a sizable force of Ottomans for him to fight. Sorry. I think this one will build up. We'll keep this one as a shitty place where we can get pikemen if need be. Right. Let's go ahead and end turn. Although I'm kind of afraid that they're gonna attack out here if I end turn. And I don't think I want to fit another battle in this. Even though the one we just had took just a little bit over 10 minutes. Yeah, so I think we're gonna leave it at this right here, and I'll say this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys will turn in for the next one, where if possibly take on the Swedish, or if we siege the Ottomans down in Athens. But with that said, as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.